This episode of The Direction is brought to you by Kentucky 811. Know what's below, call before you dig. You know, folks, when you think of Kentucky Lake and you think of tournament anglers, there's one guy's name that comes to mind, and that is Terry Bolton. Terry has won no telling how much money over his career off this lake.
There's one. That's a smallmouth there, guys.
Look at that. The boat with him today, and go out here and have a little bit of fall fun time fishing, because it's going to be cold, it's chilly, it's early December, and we're going to join Terry for a day or two on Kentucky Lake. Everyone has a story. Sometimes it's about catching monster bass. Now that's a studly mudly, baby. And sometimes it's about life's lessons. Every story is as unique as the person who tells it. So join us as we make some new friends, reunite with some old ones, catch a few fish, and share a story or two. I'm Mark Stowe, and this is The Direction.
Around the bass fishing community, Kentucky Lake is known for its incredible fishing. And one angler who calls Kentucky Lake home has become as well known as the lake itself. Terry Bolton has risen through the professional fishing ranks with over $1 million in career earnings. This Kentucky native has seen more than half of his top 10 finishes come from the legendary ledges at Kentucky and Barkley Lakes. He has also done well at the Forrest Wood Cup, finishing in the top 10 several times. Bolton has fished the FLW Tour, FLW Series, EverStart Series throughout his career. Mark Stowe is going to spend a few days learning some winter bass fishing techniques with Terry, and may even pick up a few new ways to catch a crappie.
Well, folks, I'm going to say something here. You know, there's not many people that can say that they've actually won over $1 million bass fishing throughout a career. And this guy right here, Terry Bolton. Terry, you're from Kentucky, my actual home state as well. And
right.
We're going to spend the next couple days on the water on Terry's home lake, Kentucky Lake, and we're going to go out and try to catch a few bass, and we might even go try to catch a few crappie.
We might catch a few crappie. We're just, I don't know, you know, we're kind of here to kind of a time of year where the bass fishing should start to get better, but I really don't know what we're going to get with the bass, so we might do a little crappie fishing too.
Well, I grew up hearing this guy's name in the tournament world, and we're going to talk a little bit about your tournament career, where it's continuing to go, and try to catch a few fish in between.
That's right. It seemed like just yesterday I was in high school and I wanted to be a professional bass angler. Now I'm getting old and gray, losing my hair, and I'm still a professional bass angler.
Hey, don't talk about gray hair. That's not a good thing.
You got more hair than me.
You know, folks, when you think of Kentucky Lake and you think of tournament anglers, there's one guy's name that comes to mind, and that is Terry Bolton. Terry has won no telling how much money over his career off this lake. He has achieved a goal that most anglers will never achieve, of winning over $1 million something throughout his career. This guy is just well known here on Kentucky Lake and across the country for his love for fishing and his knowledge and just skills. And we're going to get in the boat with him today and go out here and have a little bit of fall fun time fishing, because it's going to be cold, it's chilly. We're going to join Terry for a day or two on Kentucky Lake. Think about this time of year, you don't have a lot of boats.
No,
Get
you
to
won't
deer
have
hunting
many.
weather and everybody's gone.
There's a handful of people. There'll be some people out fishing. The thing about it is I've had some great fishing trips out here. Some of the biggest stringers, or really the last 2 years, some of the biggest stringers of bass I've caught on Kentucky Lake have come from Thanksgiving on. But the thing about cold weather fishing is once the water gets colder, there's just little windows those fish feed in. And you can come out here and, you know, get your feelings hurt and you can catch nothing. But, you know, but whenever that lines up and you get everything together, you know, it can be really fun. You know, that's what you got to remember, is these fish don't necessarily, as you get later into the water gets colder, these fish don't have to necessarily feed 24 hours a day. You know, as they slow down, their metabolism slows down. You know, they can eat one shad and it can last them a while. So you kind of have to keep that in mind, that some days aren't going to be that good, and some days, you know, you can catch some of the biggest bass of the year right now.
This segment was brought to you by Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. This segment is brought to you by Jinko Fishing. It's all about the action.
Water a lot cleaner. We're you know, of course, we're on the Tennessee River channels right out there. So right now we're showing 49. Typically, you know, because of this water coming out of the south, you know, especially when it starts to warm, you know, this water is coming from North Alabama and places like that, and it'll stay a little warmer over here, the flow of water.
Oh, I didn't ever think about that.
Yeah, because this lake flows backwards.
Sure.
You know, it flows south to north.
To north.
So where I'm expecting to get a bite is when we
Right about right there.
I expect to get a bite right there.
I knew you called that.
One.
See, you said he was over
You
here.
got one.
Hey,
See?
little.
Hey, it takes a lot of skill to catch one that size. Look at that margin of error,
Yeah,
see?
yeah, the margin of error that he never put in his mouth.
But he hit at it. See, it's already looking better now. As soon as we
Things
made
are
that
gonna
little
wake up.
switch, that's right.
See you, little buddy.
You didn't have to pause it very long either, did you?
No, he is whack. I enjoyed Lake Falcon, though.
Yeah.
You've been there multiple times or just once?
Just the one time.
Just the one time. Now, I know we were talking about it a minute ago, but you, in 3 days, you weighed what?
105, 8 or 9, I believe it is.
And did not win.
Did not win. It's in the top 10 biggest, excuse me, I had one of my stringers, the final day stringers, in the top 10. I figured we'd come down through here and try this over here. I didn't get to come over here Saturday. I wanted to come over here and at least try 4 or 5 places and see if we couldn't get a few bites. And the biggest smallmouth bass I ever caught on Kentucky Lake, I caught December 10th of 06 or 05, and it weighed 6 pounds, 10 ounces. I caught it right over there. So, you know, this is a good time of year to catch a big smallmouth. Whenever you fish a channel swing right here is where the deep water leaves the bank. And
There's one, two, oh. We're gonna double up in the middle of winter.
told you it's a good spot sometimes.
Hey, I thought you said cold weather fish don't bite. Come on now.
Well,
Hey,
we got double.
We're doubling them up.
we got double.
So here's what happens when you have no winnings on your resume, and here's what happens to the size of
No,
fish you catch.
wait a minute now, he's not that big. But now, of course, what this is, we're inside the mouth of a creek, and the channel swings right in here against this bank. So there may be a bunch down this bank. I've caught them down through here stacked up. If that was a little school, the only downside is we might have pulled them, but
There you go.
you got another one? I got one too. Okay, so now we got 4 casts and 4 bass.
Mine got smaller.
Well, mine's not real big.
No, wait. I just want to notice that
Mine's
you
not
keep
real
catching the bigger one every time here. Hold up.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, but it's
You know-
we're not going to win a bass tournament, but that's fun.
Oh, it's still fun.
You know, some of the best fishing starts around Thanksgiving, going into early December. So we're kind of right here on the beginning of it, and you know, and sometimes you'll find bigger ones grouped up. That's what I'm hoping we're going to run into eventually. Well, maybe I won't move the boat. I said I was going to move the boat up, but they may be just sitting down there. Mark bass.
Oh, that's a little rough right there, Terry.
Well, you were the one talking about you catching little ones. So
A mark bass.
I called them mark bass.
He's done named it now.
I always tell people though, the thing about catching those little bass like that, you got a lot more margin for error, you know. Why you got that little bitty mouth, you know.
You wouldn't get caught out on the lake without your favorite bait. So why would you get caught digging without calling 811?
Are you getting ready to start your own digging project? Be sure to call 811 and get your underground utilities located. It's the law and it's free.
Here, try this. This segment is brought to you by Power Pole, Swift, Silent, Secure. All right, folks, this week we're going to be getting real with none other than Terry Bolton. Terry has pursued an entire career in professional bass fishing.
That's right.
We're actually standing right here on your home lake, Kentucky Lake in the background. The place we're standing at right now belonged to your grandfather and family.
My grandfather bought this land, and right after the dam was formed in the early 50s. Everything you can see here, I could draw you a map of everything out here without looking at one.
You have a pretty exceptional resume when it comes to the bass fishing world, and you know, I grew up hearing your name as a tournament fisherman, and me competing locally here in Kentucky, and I'd hear your name and many of the guys that you fished with, and but when you look at the professional side of it, you know, you have career winnings that have exceeded $1 million+. That's
right.
Where'd your start in fishing fall from? You know,
started right here. You know, my family owned this land. My dad and I would come up here. We'd go fishing on the weekend, bluegill fishing. As I got older, my dad subscribed to Bassmasters magazine, and I started reading about tournaments, and I just fell in love with catching fish from a young age. And as I got older, I started getting more curious about bass and bass tournaments, and I met Mark Menendez my senior year at high school. Was getting ready to graduate. Mark kind of took me under his wing and started taking me fishing, and we started fishing tournaments together, and he kind of really fed that fire that I had and to try to teach me and bring me into fishing tournaments. So that's kind of how I got my start.
So for a young angler chasing the dream of bass fishing and wanting to go out and pursue that career, some advice you would tell them?
A young angler wanting to pursue that career, I would tell them two things. Number one, get an education or learn a trade, because you want to have something in your back pocket to fall back on, because you don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket. The other thing is that I always used to hear this, and never made sense to me, but the older I get, you know, Roland Martin, those guys say, go fishing every chance you can. And there's a lot of truth in that. The more you go, the more you learn about catching a fish. You know, buy a good rain suit, stay late, don't be a fair weathered fisherman. That's another thing, always stay out there.
Well, Terry, the last few days has been a privilege to be on the water with you. You know, I've always seen you as that tournament angler, or that guy, you know, on that stage, walking across at the FLW or whatever. To stand here as a person and just chat with you and get to know you, you know, that's what getting real is all about right here. Because you said it a minute ago, you know, you're just the son of a machinist, and you're somebody that has a passion for fishing. Once again, Terry, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
You said this was the spot you wanted to get. Oh, that looks like
old smallmouth.
Oh.
Old smallmouth. No, large.
No.
He was dark though. That's what fooled me in the beginning.
I thought he was too for a second.
Oop, threw my jerkbait up.
Look at Terry said he wanted to get to this point.
A real dark back fish.
Do you realize you're still batting 1,000?
Well, that's good. Hopefully right here, because I know between here and there, here and that point, it's going to start to taper and get shallower. So, ooh, there's one.
Oh, a jumper.
That's a smallmouth there, guys.
Look at that.
Yeah, he just now figured out he was caught too.
Oh, look at the thick head on that one.
Hooked in a bad spot, but he's hooked pretty good actually.
Terry says, I'm gonna show y'all how it's done right there. Look at that. That's a stout in there. Whew.
And I kept thinking, man, if we fish enough of this main lake, surely we'll catch a decent one.
Look at that chunk of a smallmouth. Terry.
It's a nice one. Hey,
you carrying this around today. I like fishing with you. All I got to do in this boat is stand back and watch.
All right, buddy, thank you. That was fun.
We're gonna get back on the water today with Terry Bolton. It's of course a cold fall, winter time like day, but the sun is out, the wind's blowing, the leaves are off the trees, and one thing folks don't know about Terry, or might not know, is this guy actually likes to crappie fish. So we're gonna go out this morning, we're gonna do a little dock shooting today and try to catch some big old Kentucky Lake slab crappie.
Now there's a couple out here that I feel a little more confident in. It's just figuring out sometimes, of course the problem isn't if they're gonna be, the problem is a lot of times as the water gets colder, they're still under there, but they don't want the bait moving as much. So that's kind of like the water's 48. Oh, they're still under there, look at here.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Terry, we ain't even got started and you already put a slab in the boat. Hey, I'm taking them back for Thanksgiving dinner.
So, that
are
is
we
what
keeping
we're
a mess
after.
today? Don't let this guy fool you that he's just a bass fisherman. It's a slab.
That's a nice one, isn't it? Now, let me show you what you need to do here.
We're gonna be shooting docks is what we're getting ready to do. And Terry's done showed us how to catch one before I ever got out of the floor of the boat. So we're gonna go through this description real quick.
Okay, you look out to the right here, and this is what you would call the swim platform of the dock. It's a big area. It's the darkest area of the dock. So that's where the crappie want to be. They want to be in the darkest area. You want to keep your line about halfway is what I would tell you.
Okay.
So you're gonna pull your rod back. You can kneel down, and it's all about, oops, see I hit the dock then. It's all about getting the timing right when you release.
So you kneel down.
Yep. Oops, see. There you go. Now let it sink just a little bit, just reel it real slow. Oh. It's gonna take you a little bit to get used to.
Get out of here.
Whoa, that one's too high.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a little practice now.
I'm gonna watch you do this one more.
Okay. Pull it back, like so. And see, sometimes I let that one go. There you go. That wasn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
there you go. See? Look at there. Look at there, your first dock shooting crappie.
My first dock shooting crappie in about 5 casts.
See?
But he ain't a keeper.
Well, no.
But
I'll
let it slide.
We got to start somewhere.
Hey, I got to tell you, that's quite interesting. I like it. Totally different. So how many years you been doing this?
Well, me and Jason Sealock got to doing this probably 6, 7, 8 years ago. There you go. Look at you.
All right,
Look at you.
We're going to come after him.
But hey, that's not bad. Your first dock, you caught one.
I'm 1 for 1.
You're
I'm
1 for
1,000
1
today. So you use your bass fishing rods?
No, this is a Jinko rod. This is one of Tony's trick sticks. It's a 7.2. Actually, he makes one that's a little stiffer. This is the medium light. He makes like one that's a little more medium action. That's the one, and a lot of times a little stiffer, faster tip gives you more, I guess you could say, oomph to shoot the bait. All right, you see this center float, and you're gonna shoot on the right-hand side of that float. There's one, but
there he is.
Now he bit it on out here too. That's the thing, he was more out here deeper.
Doc shooting 101. Or I'm cold. All I see is a shadow coming over in my back. Look at that big old slab.
It's cold too.
Hey, look at you. A dock shooting master right here.
I like to shoot docks.
Not only bass fishing, but
they're not biting as good as I hope though. But
oh, look at this one. He's coming out the side of the dock.
I don't know what this is. If this is a crappie, it's a big one. But boy, it sure is fighting hard. If it's a crappie, it's a big crappie. And look at here, I've caught a smallmouth bass.
Do what?
It's a smallmouth.
No.
Yes, it is
Are
a
you for real?
smallmouth bass.
It is a little small, ain't it?
Yeah,
Smallmouth under the dock shooting.
that's right.
Shooting for crappie. Now it's time for your safe digging moment of the week, brought to you by 811. Always remember to call before you dig.
Ooh, there's one.
Oh, a jumper.
That's a smallmouth there, guys.
Look at that. Oh, look at the thick head on that one.
Hey, how about that?
Mr. Bolton. That's a stout in there. Look at that chunk of a smallmouth. Terry.
It's a nice one.
Well, unfortunately, I don't ever like having to leave the water.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, some days when it's cold and wet, it's a good thing, but I always enjoy fishing.
Terry, it's actually the day before Thanksgiving.
It is?
So unfortunately, I've got to get back home.
Well, I thank you for inviting me on your show, and you got me. I have not had, like I said, I'm not lying. I hadn't had much time to fish this year. So I want to thank you. You got me out of the house, got me to go fishing, and I've had a ball, had a blast, had fun. And that's what fishing's about, having fun. It's not about, you can pursue fishing in any way you want. You can sit on the bank and watch a cork, or you can buy a Ranger boat, you can run up and down the lake and chase bass and bass tournaments, but you can do whatever you want, and whatever you want to do, enjoy it.
And on that note, unfortunately, we're going to go to the house.
That's right.
The direction is brought to you by 811. Know what's below, call before you dig. We would also like to thank these fine partners. Closed captioning is brought to you by USA North. Call 811 before you dig.